Hey gamers, it's Joe the Apostate Cow here. Now I'm going to try and title this video as innocuously as I possibly can so that people don't accuse me of it being clickbait. My goal here is not to piss anybody off or make people angry. I'm still probably going to get accused of that. But I just thought this was interesting. So the title is, are people regretting their Xbox One purchase? ? And the reason I'm asking this question is a brief encounter or discussion that I had with a GameStop employee yesterday. Now, before I continue, let me just say this going in. This is purely anecdotal. This doesn't bear out any hard numbers as to people's dissatisfaction with the Xbox One or anything like that. I just thought it was interesting, and I thought I'd share it with you guys, and you guys tell me what you think. Okay, I was in GameStop trading something in. I'm not going to tell you what it was, because every time I tell people on this channel about games I don't like, I get ridiculed and raked over the coals for, oh, what do you mean you don't like it? It's fucking awesome. You didn't like it because you suck at it. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, so I'm not going to tell you what I traded in. I traded in a game, okay? And the guy that was checking me out, well, not checking me out as in looking at my ass, but, you know, checking me out at the counter, was an employee that I had seen there a number of times. We've made small talk before. The guy's always been very professional and very nice, cool guy, and he also seems to have, you know, some knowledge when it comes to gaming and the gaming industry, which, believe it or not, for a GameStop employee is relatively rare. So it's pretty refreshing when someone seems to at least have a handle on things. And like I said, he's very professional, nice guy. You know, again, that's another thing that's kind of rare. Sometimes GameStop employees are fucking assholes. And a lot of times you'd be amazed how little they know about gaming. But anyway, I digress, as I tend to do. So the guy's checking me out, and you know, or actually I was getting store credit for a game. And like I said, I've interacted with this guy before, and I asked him a question. I said, so I think I started it out like, you know, I said something like, so the Xbox One's back up at $399 now, and he's like, yeah, you know, and bear in mind, I'm not gonna be able to do this all verbatim. Obviously, I'm gonna try and recreate what happened, right? So I was like, yeah, you know, I asked him, do you think that now that it's back up to $399, do you think it'll continue to sell like it did over the holidays, you know, when it was $349? I mean, it's still a bundle. They're still offering it with Assassin's Creed, right? And he's like, yeah, no, they are. We still have that bundle, you know. And then I said, did you guys sell a lot of them over the holidays? And he said, yeah. And he goes, but you know what? I think a lot of people are kind of regretting it. Now, I didn't ask him for this response, like I wasn't fishing for anything like this. I was just making small talk with him about stuff, you know, and I just thought, you know, wanted to see what his thoughts were on the whole Xbox One thing going back up to $399. And he volunteered this, so I, of course, was intrigued. I said, well, what makes you say that? He's like, well, a couple of buddies of mine, you know, they got it, and they're very unhappy with it. And we get a lot of people trading it back in. I was like, I had a guy in here yesterday, traded it in, bought an Xbox 360. And I was like, really? And then, of course, I asked him the inevitable question. I was like, do you guys get a lot of PS4s traded in? And he's like, something to the effect of, well, we get a few, you know, but not nearly as many. I said, really? He goes, yeah. I mean, in the back, I probably have, I don't know, maybe we got 4 or 5 pre-owned PS4s, but I know we have at least 10 to 12, you know, Xbox Ones. And then he looked over at, there was another guy working there. He goes, and I can't remember his name. So he's like, Steve, wouldn't you say, like, well, we got like, what, like at least 12, maybe even more? And the guy's like, yeah, maybe even more than that, or something like that, right? Like they were saying they have like a dozen or more pre-owned Xbox Ones in the back, but only maybe 4 or 5 PS4s. And so I just asked him, I was like, do you think people just, they don't like the games, the UI? He's like, well, some people just, they say they don't like that they're the party chat. It's like, there's a number of reasons. And I didn't even ask this guy, I'll be honest. I did not even ask him what his opinion was at all. And I really didn't volunteer my opinions. I just let him kind of just talk, you know. He didn't say much more than that. You know, he didn't get into too many details, because he then was like, you know, all right, man, you know, we were in the process of sliding my card through the machine, you know, to put the store credit on it. And I was like, okay, you know, so it kind of just got lost in the jumble. So we never really finalized anything about it. But I said, all right, man, have a good one, you know. And I just thought it was interesting, you know. Do you think that this is symptomatic of how it is everywhere? I don't know. Obviously, like I said at the beginning, this is just an anecdotal isolated interaction I had with one GameStop employee. For all I know, I could go to the other GameStop that's nearby, that's by the Walmart, right? Go to that one, and that guy might tell me the exact opposite, or one of the guys in that store, right? They might say, "Oh yeah, you know, we get just as many PS4s traded in, or we get more PS4s traded in, or people seem really happy with the Xbox One." I don't know. All right, I'm just telling you what this guy said, and I didn't volunteer anything that was any fanboy bullshit. You know, I wasn't like, "Hey man, you think the Xbox One's gonna go down in sales and PS4 is gonna be back on top?" Radio. You know, I didn't do that. You know what I'm saying? I was just making small talk, and he volunteered this information, and like I said, I don't know what his preferences are. He never said, "Here's what I think." He just told me what his experience was working at GameStop. Like I said, I'm sure I'm going to get the comments, "Oh, he don't know shit. He's just a dumbass GameStop employee. That's just one store," etc. And you know what? You're 100% right. I have no idea whether or not this is just an isolated conversation about, or rather, an isolated, not incident, but circumstance at this particular GameStop. That may be all it is. I just thought it was interesting. What do you guys think? Do you think that this is something that is going on a larger scale, or is it purely, again, anecdotal, and there's nothing more to it than that? We would need, they would need to do surveys of people's satisfaction and have, do actual scientific demographic studies in order to get hard data on this. Like I said, this is just food for thought. Thought it was interesting. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. What I've been doing lately with comments, guys, is I leave them open for a while, and then after the video kind of reaches a peak where it's really not getting a whole lot of views anymore, I just disable comments because I don't want to fucking deal with it after a certain point. But they'll be open for a while. So that's it, guys. Tell me what you think. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.